One thing that makes me super happy about creating the Let's Play list is that I've seen you guys use it in the comment section to talk to other people about what games will be happening on the channel. It's actually kind of cool to see people say, hey, don't worry, this game is on the Let's Play list. And if you don't know what the Let's Play list is, the Let's Play list is very simple. It's a list of games that I plan to play in the future. It's all the playthroughs that I plan to do at some point. This list is updated constantly. Games are taken away. Games are added to this. You can check it in the description below whenever you want. One of the things you can also do that is very beneficial for me is to actually say which games you're excited for after I do this video, which games you actually would like to see a playthrough of, because that kind of does like help a lot. Like one of the reasons why Genshin Impact was even played was because I kept seeing like people saying I would love to see Genshin Impact. And it's like, oh, if enough people are saying it, then it's like, oh, that'd be a really cool playthrough to try out. And that's the way things kind of go. And I think it's just a really nice way of like letting me know which games you like, and so also I can be like, well, I also want to play that game, let's play it. And I think that works out. You don't need to say which games that you don't want to see, because usually I can gauge that by the little amount of people that have talked about it. Usually that's what happens. Like nobody's talked about it, so I'm like, okay, that's a game that not many people want to see. So let's actually go through this list ourselves right now, and we'll talk about the list, and we'll have a conversation about what games are more likely to be played and why some games might not be played so soon, but we will talk about all the games on this list. So we start off here with the current Let's Play, and that's Detroit Become Human. We're doing a second playthrough of Detroit Become Human, and it's going to be a very aggressive playthrough. The idea is that I do the opposite of everything I did in the playthrough, but we're not just going to try and like kill our characters. We're going to try and like do stuff aggressively, like, you know, aggressive protests, aggressive like stealing, aggressive cop work. We're going to do all this stuff. It's going to be not something I would usually do in a playthrough, but I think that's what's going to make it kind of fun, I guess, in a way. The next game, I'm not quite sure. I have ideas. As you can see here, the planned games. I was thinking of maybe playing some Alan Wake 2 Night Springs. Maybe. The Walking Dead games. I had this idea of playing every single Walking Dead Telltale game in a row for 2 months. Just playing all of them and calling it the Summer of the Walking Dead. That was my idea. Again, all these are just ideas. That's why they're on the list. Kingdom Hearts, but play the first one again. I think I wrote this down because I already played the first one back in like 2018, but I would say that I don't remember every aspect of the game. In fact, I don't remember like 90% of it, just because like that was an era like that I was playing so many games constantly. And also like, I think I could tell you like some like worlds that are in it and things like that, but like when you're not as invested in Kingdom Hearts, you're not going to remember absolutely everything about it. And I would like to like play it on the channel. And I'm not sure if we start from Rechain of Memories, or if we do another playthrough of the original Kingdom Hearts, so we have like this congruent timeline of games. I think that might be a fun way of doing it. The Elden Ring DLC, I'm going to play this anyway. If it's by myself or on the channel, who knows? I think it'd be really fun to try it. Rain Code, I think we're going to do it when the game re-releases. Now, maybe? I don't know, I haven't played Rain Code, but one thing I do know about you guys is that you actually have said that it's actually a really good game. It's a really good game, but I'm not sure if we play it when it re-releases, or if we can play it like sooner. Like the plan was to play it in September, but if it re-releases in October on the PlayStation, which I don't mind buying on the Switch either, we might as well just play it on the re-release. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I have no problem playing it now, like, you know, playing it before that, but we'll just see how everything works out. Little Nightmares. I've never played Little Nightmares. I've stayed away from it, purposely stayed away from it. And it's a game that you guys have suggested as well. That's why I was thinking of doing Rain Code in September on the Switch, and then playing Little Nightmares for October for the Halloween game. Yeah. And it also says it's at Christmas, because there's also an idea that we do like a Nightmare Before Christmas type thing. Dual Destinies, I'm thinking around November. That's when I think I want to play like Dual Destinies maybe. But there's loads of gaps in between that, because now the way we play games is that we used to play games in half-an-hour chunks. Now we do it in like minimum like 1 hour episodes every day. So we went from basically having a game like Dual Destinies that would be played over 2 months. It would be played over 2 months, and now we play it over, Jesus, we played over maybe 20 days, which is so different. It's so different. It means you can add basically like at least 4 more games every year to the playthroughs. Now let's talk about all the games in the order. We're not going to go too deep into all these, but we will go into some of them. Someone's actually like checking out the Let's Play list right now, which is awesome. It's awesome. That's always cool. So the games I plan to play in no particular order. Pikmin 1 and 2. I mean, I love the Pikmin games, and these games re-released on Switch as well, so like it's a perfect. I'm glad I waited, because like, you know, we could have bought them on the Wii. We could have. There was no issue with that. They were on the Wii yeah, they're actually like pretty cheap. Like you can get them for like €20. It was a very cheap game you could rebuy as well on the Wii. I think they're on the Wii U as well. They're on the Wii U. So they're actually very, very cheap to buy them on the Wii U. All the Kingdom Hearts games, as I said, I want to get into the series so badly, and I think the best way to sit me down and be like, let's get into the series you've always wanted to get into is on the channel. I think that's the best way to do it. Bug Fables is a game that is kind of like the Paper Mario games. I think that's what it's kind of like calling upon, is the Paper Mario games. Life is Strange 2 and Life is Strange True Colors. 100% want to play these games. The issue always is with the Life is Strange games, and like it's just the way things go because it makes the games more immersive, and I think it actually does help. They have like a lot of copyrighted music in it, so we kind of space out those playthroughs between, you know, like we did 2 Life is Strange games this year, and the prequel and the original game, which were absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait to play Life is Strange 2 and True Colors, and when we do play them, we will be doing like full-on music. That's the thing. I'm not playing these games in streamer mode. I can't. I feel like the true beauty of these games actually comes from a lot of the music. The music helps so much and adds so much to these games as well. I feel like so much of Max's personality came in with the original game because of that music as well, and it's intentional. That's the thing. It's intentional. Puppet Combo horror games. I want to play more horror games on the channel. I really do. I like the Puppet Combo games. I've always wanted to get into. I'm a big survival horror fan, and it'd be cool to like get into these games with you guys too. Your Turn to Die is a game that calls upon kind of like the energy of a Danganronpa game. It's on PC, and I'll just be honest, I have to get my PC set up better. Right now, my whole setup is set up to be really unbelievably, beautifully comfortable with consoles. It really is like, you know, if I have to switch between my PlayStation 2, my Switch, my Xbox, or my PS5, or even my Wii U that's over there, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's so simple. But for PC, it's not as simple, so it wouldn't be as comfortable. So I kind of want to make sure I have kind of maybe like a better setup, and maybe like eventually I can get like a better PC kind of like setup, if that makes sense. I don't want to like, you know, string people along with this because actually I don't know why it's not on this. I'm doing this in one hand, so it's not going to be in capitals. Danganronpa another. This is another game I've downloaded the actual translation for, but again, I want to get like make sure my setup is pretty comfortable for this because I like to be comfortable playing these games because it's fun that way. And it's actually not that big of a deal. Like, we can make it comfortable. You know what I mean? It won't be a big deal. Like, literally it would take 2 steps. So it's not like it's like, oh, we're not going to play this game forever. We will play this game. The only problem with Danganronpa another is that you have to like live translate some of the side content, which I don't have a problem doing because what I can literally do is like set up my iPad and have it facing towards the screen, the one I use for drawing, have it facing towards the screen, have like a live translate thing, so we can just translate it that way. Does that make sense? Like, it's kind of like, it would be kind of like another step, but I think it's kind of like the price you pay for playing unofficially translated games. Yeah? Yeah, I still want to play it. Raincode, I'm so excited to play this game. I think this is a game I've been excited to play for a long, long time, and it's... the issue is I purposely have avoided trailers. I've watched like the first trailer and like maybe a second trailer. I've avoided everything else because I don't want any spoilers. Cuphead, I played it once on my like a family member's Switch like years ago, like one of like, you know, when you're like little cousins, they're like, hey, you want to play this game? You're like, yeah, sure, let's play Cuphead. And I played one boss and it was super fun. It seemed super fun. Future Redeemed, this has been in the works for how long? This has been like an idea that I've had for a long time. I'm 100% aware that the longer I wait to play Future Redeemed, the harder it gets, right? Because it gets hard because we haven't played. It's been almost 2 summers since we played Xenoblade. Has it been? I think it's been almost 2 summers since we played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was like my game of the year that year. I think it was. Yeah, it was my game of the year 2 years ago. It's been 2 summers basically since we played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So it gets harder and harder every single year, and I understand that. Fire Emblem Engage. We played Fire Emblem Three Houses, the Blue Lions route. I would love to play another Fire Emblem game. Just very simple. I'd love to play another Fire Emblem game. We have To the Moon. This game will probably be played this year because it's very short. We can actually just get into it. And, you know, that's what I kind of like about it. It'd be like, you know, a few episodes. Now, knowing me, I always take like, if a series takes 4 episodes for a normal Let's Player, because I talk too much, so much. I don't say too much because it's like, man, I'm talking with you guys, so it's not too much. Then it will probably be like 6 episodes. Honkai Star Rail. This game we played right after Genshin is caught up with. we're gonna start, because what's gonna happen is, I'll just explain exactly what's gonna happen. We're gonna stop playing Genshin 4 times a week and only play 1 time a week for like events and maybe doing like fun boss battles or things like this. And then we're gonna play like 3 episodes of Honkai. I think that's probably a really good way of doing it. And then like whenever a new update comes out for Genshin, we'll do the update. Like say if they add like a new like area, like the way they're adding Natlan this year, like we do a whole new thing. And we start like the Let's Play up again, if that makes sense. Subnautica, I'm afraid of the underwater. People have asked me to play this for like half a decade. But I've been very scared, but I think that's the whole point of it. I think that's why people want me to play it. I think it'd be super, super fun. Ori and the Blind Forest is another game that people have like suggested for years. And I think it's one of those things that like, I didn't really have a system to play it on until it came. I think it's out on Switch, and then like it came out on Xbox. It was already out on Xbox. And now we have like no excuses, because I haven't been avoiding it, but it's one of those things where like it came out in 2015, I think, or it was advertised in 2014. And I remember it was E3 2014. It was the first time it was shown off. And that's one of the times I was like, oh man, this game doesn't look like it's for me. But I feel like after years and years of changing games and like you guys actually showing me new types of games, I've kind of like grown to want to play it. So, well, yeah, we'll get into it. And obviously, people suggested enough that I trust you guys. You guys have got me into some of my favorite games of all time. Outer Wilds, I don't know anything about this game whatsoever, so I can't talk about it, but people have suggested it all the time. Friday Night Funkin', this is another short game. This was one of the Patreon suggestions. A lot of these are Patreons. Outer Wilds is a Patreon suggestion. Friday Night Funkin' is at 1. Ori and the Blind Forest is 1. Subnautica is 1. You know, all these are kind of like, a few of these are actually like patron suggested stuff. And I really feel like enough people also in the comments of the videos have said Outer Wilds. They've talked about Ori and the Blind Forest. They've talked about this stuff, Friday Night Funkin' and all this stuff. So it's kind of like makes sense for me to put this on the list. The Walking Dead Telltale games, we talked about that already. I really want to play all of them in a row. We don't have to play all of them in a row, but I would like to play them again. I played the first Walking Dead game. I played a little bit of the second one, but that was back in 2015. So I really think that because it's been like a decade in my distance from this series, I think it would be a good idea to play them all again. Instead of just like starting at like halfway through the second one. I think it would be very, very smart to do that. Little Nightmares, we talked about that as well. Fallout 4, I played Fallout 4 again 10 years ago, so I think it would be a really fun idea to play this game again. I don't know how many people will be interested in that, just like I don't know how many people are interested in the Uncharted games. I've never played an Uncharted game. The only time I've ever touched an Uncharted game, I'll be honest, was in college when a friend, my best friend, brought it into college, Uncharted 2 on the PlayStation 3, and I played a level of that. You know, that was when I played it, but I would like to get into more of this because I've really been like, and any of my friends will tell you this, like, one of the things that this channel has done for me and playing, like, more, like, you know, and it's opened my horizons to, like, new things. Because back when I was, like, in college, I feel like I was very, like, stubborn in, like, my ways when it came to, like, I played Dark Souls and I played JRPGs. And that's, here's the thing, most of my games I still play nowadays are JRPGs. Like, 100%. It's still, that and survival horror are my favorite genres. But you guys have opened my eyes up to new games. Like, and also, like, you know, in that time, I also got into more visual novel stuff. Like, everything kind of changed, and I feel like that's the best way to be. Like, you don't want to just be stubborn in your ways forever. FNAF Sister Location. I mean, I played other FNAF games. I really want to play more FNAF. Kena Bridge of Spirits. This was another patron suggestion, I believe, and I actually like the look of the game. It looks really sweet. Mario RPG. I mean, I need to play this. Again, it's another short game. I think it's like, what, like 16 hours, which is like not that long at all, so it might be fun to actually get into. Skyrim. I played Skyrim on the channel before, but I do not like that playthrough. It's just all the main story, which is like how you don't play Skyrim. That is so, like, looking back on it now, it's like, what was I thinking? I was a dumb, big dumb. Life is Strange Double Exposure just announced the new Max game. Tell me why. Another game that's like kind of a choice-based game. Pokemon X and Y Legends game, the new Legends game, which is going to be based on the world of Pokemon X and Y. We're going to play it when it comes out. Zero Time Dilemma. That's the second game in the like, it's, I think it's a sequel to 999. I could be wrong. I played 999 before, but again, I might play 999 again because it's been a decade. It's been a decade since I played 999. I played on the Vita. And so I feel like it would be kind of silly to be like, well, I played it before, and instead of calling it like a blind playthrough, we'll call it just like, you know, just a regular playthrough. And I really feel like a lot of stuff would still surprise me there because it's been so long. I only did one playthrough, which is not the way you play those games either. But it was so long ago. Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves, these games will also be played when we catch up to other games too. And I think that's it. I think that is the entire Let's Play list of games. Now, some games were taken off this list, some games are going to be added to this list. If you see a game that was taken off, maybe I took it off by accident, please let me know if you feel like I took it off by accident, or if there's a game that you would like to see me put back on that list. Really, like, these are all like the games that we plan to do playthroughs of in the future. These are all playthrough games. Things can change. Like, for example, Persona 6 is announced and it's coming out next March. I think I would like to do a Persona 6 playthrough. You know what I mean? I would love to do a Persona 6 playthrough. If a new Resident Evil game is announced, I probably will play the new Resident Evil game on the channel. More and more, I'm kind of like liking to save games for the channel because, believe it or not, playing games on the channel is my favorite way to play games. I've realized that more and more when I'm, playing games off the channel. It's fun. It's still incredible. I have such an incredible time. But there's also this feeling of like, man, I wish I was sharing this experience with other people. And that's what the channel is all about. So if you like these games, please let me know. If you're interested in any of these games, please let me know. It helps out so much when people are like, oh, I like this game. I don't like this game. In the end, it will be my decision because that's the way things have to be. Playing games, like, I feel like if you put up a poll, like, of, like, 4 games, it's like, hey, I want to play all 4 of the games, but I feel like it should always come down to, like, my decision in the end because you guys want to see me have fun with this. But I feel like you guys suggesting games and you guys saying which games you like also helps quite a bit, too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for supporting me, and thanks so much for supporting this channel always. It really means the absolute world to me that I get to even play these types of games on the channel. And if you want to see this type of video again, where I talk about more of the Let's Plays coming up, we'll be doing another one. We probably do like 4 a year. 4 a year is the best thing to do because then we can actually like, there's no point in doing it all the time because you can check the Let's Plays, but it's a nice reminder that this does exist. Thank you to Tyfire2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, Normal Kara, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, George Candelaria, Eskun, Yuld, Radish, Fruity, Death Trap, Anusa, Ciabatta Bread, and Malcolm Condé. And I'll see you guys very soon.